It's Groovin Ruben here. Now, today we're going to talk about this rare artifact I have. I'm so rare I'm touching it with gloves because I don't want to get my fingerprints all over it. I want to preserve it. No, this is just for the effect. I got this at a Goodwill. But still, there is a reason to be careful with this. Because on the inside it's got all sorts of what looks to be signatures, it looks like it's been autographed by a bunch of very famous people. For instance, Louis Armstrong is on the first page right here. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. I'm wondering, it's not been authenticated yet. I'm thinking about taking it down to Half Price Books here in Corpus Christi, Texas, to see if it's the real deal. If these, they're supposedly book experts over there, and they sell expensive books. I know they have glass cases full of books, like first editions, first runs, first pressings, whatever you call them, and so I'm assuming that this may be a valuable book. I don't know for sure, but. It's Charles Boeckman, or Boeckman, however you say his last name. I'm not entirely sure. I've heard both pronunciations. I don't know for sure. I'm just going to call him Boeckman. Charles Boeckman, right there. Cool, Hot, and Blue, A History of Jazz for Young People by Charles Boeckman. Got Louis Armstrong in here, Beiderbecke. See, I don't know all these names. Biederbick, I have no idea. Duke Ellington, Fats Waller, Jelly Roll Morton. That's a good one. I know him. Benny Goodman, Paul Whiteman or Whitman, Count Basie, Ray Charles, Charlie Parker, Miles Davis, Buddy Bolden, and many more. Many others. So you can read all those names right there for you. You can just pause and check it out for yourself. Read those names. And yeah, there's the man in the back right there. I believe that's Charles Boeckman. That's what it says right here anyway. Or Boeckman. I'm going to switch between pronunciations, I guess, because I don't know his last name. So I'm going to say Boeckman or Beckman. You all can correct me if you do know how to pronounce his last name. But I'll switch between the two because I have no idea how to actually pronounce this guy's name. So anyways, Charles Boeckman. There's the dude right there, big jazz aficionado, fairly prominent writer. I suppose. I mean, he made a living writing books. So although he's not Stephen King or anything, or J.K. Rowling, he's not super famous. He did all right for himself. So he's a local legend to a degree, even though very few people actually know his name. But yeah, he grew up in San Antonio, Texas, and I guess somewhere down the line he decided to move to Corpus Christi. So it's pretty interesting. I'll go ahead and read the inner jacket here, the inner sleeve. It was $4.95. See how times have changed. A brand new book only cost $4.95 back then, and I'm assuming the 1960s, whenever this was published. Pretty impressive, actually. You're hard pressed to find a brand new hardcover book for only $5 today. Although it was kind of pricey still for its time. So I don't know. Anyways, Cool, Hot, and Blue by Charles Boeckman, or Beckman, whatever. Cool, Hot, and Blue by Charles Boeckman. From the music of African American slaves brought from West Africa through 19th century marching bands, minstrels, work songs, spirituals, blues, and ragtime, from early New Orleans jazz to modern progressive, here is an entertaining, informative, and informal history of jazz. Mr. Boeckman tells the story of the New Orleans parade bands, the competition between those bands in street corner contests, the early trumpet players such as Buddy Bolden and King Oliver, and then traces the spread of jazz music across the country to Chicago and New York. He writes about the jazz age of the 1920s and 1930s, the tragic story of Beiderbecke. Again, I don't know how to say that guy's last name either, or his whole name, Beiderbecke. I have no idea. The great bands Paul Whiteman, I don't know, Benny Goodman and Swing, Count Basie, Duke Ellington, and right on down to the more recent trends, styles, personalities in jazz today. Anyway, continued on back flap. Okay. Here we go. Many photographers show the jazz greats who have contributed to so much to America's original musical form. Charles Boeckman was born in San Antonio, Texas in 1920. For 10 years he played clarinet, saxophone in various jazz bands, and though he is now a full-time writer, jazz music remains his chief hobby and interest. He is married and resides in Corpus Christi, Texas. Well, he used to reside here, now he's dead. Now he's passed on. But, yeah, very interesting. Shit, I can just break this. Okay. Jacket designed by Judith Mays. Judith Mays did the jacket design. Oh my god, that's crazy. I don't know who that is. To Charles from Louis Armstrong. I don't know if that says Satchme. I don't know. You guys can make that out. Maybe. No idea. But I think that's Louis Armstrong. That's what it looks like to me. I don't know if it's the real deal. I hope it is. This book could be worth a lot of money. Possibly. I don't know. I paid $1 for it, so we'll find out. Cool, Hot and Blue to Charlie. I don't know. Marty Napoleon, famous jazz pianist. Again, I'm just going to show these off one by one because I think it's kind of interesting. Yeah, very cool stuff. So anyway, there you guys.